So I know I've done this video before, probably with an article, but I just wouldn't mind to do it again. Now it's about Peugeot 407. Is it good for e-hailing business or Uber? What's that name again? Just call it e-hailing or Uber and the likes. Whether it's good to, or if we can serve that purpose. Now, yes, Peugeot 407 can serve that, and I know people that have used this successfully on that business, and it worked for them. And for years they use it to run the business. Well, I wouldn't say for years, not like Uber has been there for ages, but a year, two, or thereabouts, because they were successful with the vehicle and the business. They made a lot of money with it. So yes, it can be done, but then it's not like every Peugeot 407 can serve that purpose. When I mean serve that purpose, I mean give you very good returns in terms of profit. So not all can serve that. Which of them that can serve it? Peugeot 407 with EW10J4, Peugeot 407 with EW10A, and Peugeot 407 with EW12J4. Now these three engines, you can also, okay, let's just make it 4, but that fourth one, EW7A engine is a 1.8 liter. Now the reason why I did not mention the EW7J4 is because even people that use it for private do complain. Quite a number of them do complain that the consumption tends to be even higher than that of EW10J4. Now I don't know why. There's one that bought his car, on a few occasions. I diagnosed it. Nothing was wrong with the system, but he said the consumption was much higher compared to the EW10. I think he has used EW10 before, so he was concerned that he was consuming more than that. And I've heard from another person. Now it makes sense considering that a 407 weight is high, very high. So that engine, considering the power, may not actually work well in terms of fuel efficiency. Maybe if you are the only one in the car with less weight, you don't carry much load, or with steel wheel, you may not consume that much. But when you start adding load, carrying passengers, stuff like that, it probably will go. It most likely, not just probably. If I would say for certainty, once you add so much load to 407 with that EW7J4 engine, is going to consume more than the EW10J4 with the same load. So let's leave it at that. So I think it's better you just EW10J4, the EW10A, EW12J4, and the EW7A. Now EW7A is also 1.8 liter, just like EW7J4, but the EW7A at least has up to 123 or 125 HP, so it has some power to be able to pull, not effortlessly, but at least less energy than the EW7J4 will need to pull the heavy vehicle. So that's aside. Now the transmission, which one will serve better? Personally, I will recommend the manual. Because automatic, the ones with automatic of these three engines, I will say 3 because EW7A in Peugeot 407 I think comes only in manual, no automatic. At least the ones I've seen. I don't think they had any automatic, but if they do, but I've never seen one. And the manuals I've come across, these are manuals, they all pointed out that the EW7A all had manual transmission. So for the EW10J4, EW10A and EW12J4, I will always recommend the manual for e-hailing, considering the cost of maintaining the automatic. That's the only reason I'm saying that. Not that the automatic will not work, but the cost. What's the cost? I'm talking about the maintenance cost of the automatic transmission in that vehicle, in Peugeot 407, with those engines, AM4 and ZF4 HP20. So the recommended ATF or good alternative ones are not cheap. I'm not saying they are expensive, I'm saying they are not cheap. So, and they are, I always recommend at least minimum of 30, not minimum, maximum of about 30,000 kilometers, maybe 35, but let's just leave it at 30,000 kilometers. Don't exceed it, you need to change it. And for that e-hailing business, you find out that within a month or less a month or a little bit more, you will cover that mileage, 30,000 kilometers. If the business is actually working well for you, you cover it. So you end up spending between 20 to 50,000 naira or more just to change the ATF if it's automatic, unlike the manual. Now you see where I'm coming from. So if you are spending up to that amount every month, or that mileage, like I said, I don't know how, depends on where you cover that mileage. So if you're spending that amount, I don't know how much profit you are going to make. So some will risk it and keep using it until it packs up. The gearbox costs about, depending, AM4 is about 100,000 naira in Nigeria, or a little bit less or more. Likewise, the ZF4 HP20 costs more than 100,000. Last time price it was about 140, 150, thereabouts. I don't know if it has gone up or dropped the price. So, as I'm saying, so if it fails on you, you're going to spend. So, it's not about, oh, the gearbox are not durable or anything. I know people that are using it and their own are not giving them any problem. However, they spend to maintain it from failure, or prevent it from failing by changing the ATF with good one at recommended or reasonable interval. So that's why. But for manual, not saying the oil in the manual gearbox will last forever, but they hardly give that kind of problem as long as they are good oil. Yes, you change them. Sometimes you drive them up to 100,000 before you even consider changing. As long as it's a very good oil, especially the recommended or the OEM. So those are the things you have to consider, because unless the person that doesn't know how to drive manual and then kills clutch every now and then, some may kill a clutch within a week, 30 days or thereabouts. So in that case, you may end up spending up to 50,000 naira every month changing your clutch kit. So you end up being in the same shoe with the person that uses automatic to do the same e-hailing business, Uber, and the rest. So if you are good with manual, the manual will be cheaper for you to run. Some will claim, but it's stressful. I don't know how old you are. If you are making that kind of statement, if you are the type that always say manual cars are too stressful to drive, then you are too childish. You are still a kid to be discussing cars with adults. Because if you are actually an adult, go and drive a modern manual car before you start making those such statements. Don't talk like people who have zero knowledge of what the subject is all about. They just go online and be making statements as if they are expert in that field. Modern manual cars are now very soft that you even feel depressing your clutch. Is it the gear lever? Is it that hard for you to shift? What energy do you actually need to pull the gear from one to the other? So if your own clutch is being too very heavy to the press, then something is wrong with the clutch. It means the clutch kit, maybe the pressure plate or the release bearing is bad. So can as well replace the kit and become soft again. Sometimes even bleeding the slave cylinder fixes and makes it softer. The clutch pedal, depending, or the clutch cable, if it's bad, it could make it heavy to depress the pedal, the clutch pedal. So if you replace it, put a very good one, it becomes softer again. So all these things, see, all I'm telling you, I'm just telling you what will make you more money in the business. So I don't care, because this is not just about pressure. There's the reason why I did not mention V6, because if when it comes to V6 would have been my, I would, if I were to talk about pressure, I would tell you go and buy V6, use it for the business. But it's not about it's business. You want to make money, so you need to use the one that you will spend less in fueling the vehicle, spend less in maintenance, spend less in, so that you're able to make more money and invest in the business or grow the business or whatever. The reason why you want to do the business. So if you want automatic, go ahead. I also know few people that use 7407 with this engine I've listed, mentioned, to run the business. Some automatic, no problem. As in, they've never complained that the transmission was a problem for them in the business. So it's just, I'm telling you, if you want the gearbox to last without giving any problem, you have to spend. Some will not change and it will be working, but eventually it will damage the gearbox. So that is it. So if you want automatic, please go ahead and use it. If it serves you, fine. If it doesn't, you change it. Worst case, you convert it to manual. Okay, so now aside that, just because I say 407 will serve, Peugeot 407 is very good for Uber. Some of them, that depending on the engines in them, it does not necessarily mean once any car that has a shape of 407 or 407 badge, you go and buy, because I say 407 can serve that people. If you go and buy and abuse it, you see, that's the problem. There's a lot of people that don't even understand the way people reason. You are going to buy a used vehicle you have no knowledge about. You just go out of your sound and engine can start and move. Then you buy because it's very cheap. You don't want to buy those costlier ones that you know that are in better condition, well maintained. You go and buy those cheap, abused, messed up ones, yet expecting not to complain. I don't understand. See, that's what I don't understand. You expect the car to serve you like those costlier ones, forgetting that this one, if they are selling one like 1.5 million naira, and somebody is selling another one 400,000, 500,000, what do you think what do you think there is difference between those prices? You think the one of 5 million naira, 1.5 is the same condition with the one of 400,000? Or you think if you buy the one of 400,000, all you need to spend is 20,000 naira? It will now become in the same condition of the 1.5 million naira. So if you're buying the one of 400,000, nobody is stopping you from this. So, but don't come back and start complaining that the car is a nightmare. It's very problematic, because the car, the most likely the maintainer, the way it was used or maintained was so bad, or doing the repairs, they messed up the car. The previous owner became so frustrated, he packaged it and put it for sale. And you saw it because it was too cheap. You rush and buy it without even making any inspection to be sure that the car is okay. All you care about, can it start? It starts and moves. Then nothing else is wrong. Then when you enter it, you now realize that you bought a very big mess. Instead of you to take that blame and be an adult to accept you made this mess, not the vehicle, you start complaining that the problem is the vehicle. When the other people using the same model of that Peugeot vehicle, enjoying it for years, their visit to mechanic is just to do the normal replacement of brake pad, this, that, maybe one sensor that is weak, change engine oil, just normal wear and tear. While your own, every day you are changing one ECU to the other, changing one gearbox to the other, cutting one wire to the other. Every day you are spending half of your day at the workshop, the remaining ones on the road or your place of work. It's not the vehicle's fault. You make that choice to buy the abused one. So my point is, just because it has a 407 bike doesn't mean if you see any Peugeot 407 that in fact that is meant to be scrapped, no longer even driven on the road, that is meant to straight to the graveyard or scrap yard to scrap it, and probably may not even get any useful thing from the parts of the vehicle. You go and buy and they expect you can use it for your Uber business. It's going to serve you well without breaking down often. So if you are buying abused Peugeot 407, it will not serve you for the e-hailing business. Get a very clean one. Spend, even if you have to borrow money, it's better for you. By the time you pay back all your loan, do all those things, you will also make your own money. But if you go and buy that abused one because it's the cheapest there, in fact, you won a lottery by seeing a 407, 200, 300, 500,000, calling the other people that are spending up to 1.5 or thereabout fools for buying something you purchase 100,000. You got to pay for it, but like I always say, be more than enough. Be adult enough to take that responsibility when you that nightmare start coming up, because it's gonna come, and you don't have to bitch about it because you made that choice. So that's the reason I'm saying all these things. It's a modern car. It has compressed electric car, which doesn't mean it's problematic. But the compressed electric car means don't abuse it. Get a scan tool. If you can't afford to pay a mechanic or a technician or a specialist to be diagnosing for you, then get your own scan tool and be diagnosing it when an issue comes up. It's a very, as complex as it is, it's also a simple system, because every issue that comes up, it will give you the warning. It will flash on the screen, warn you that something is about to fail, or you need to take care of this or look into this, which could take months before any warning will come up. So it's not like every day we get a warning. It's a use, as the car is wearing off, those sensors will be giving up gradually. So they'll be giving you those warnings. One is about to fail. It may not be everything that will give you the warning, but like I said, if you have a scan tool, and all of a sudden notice your car is not behaving as it should, you plug it here. If there's anything, you see it. I know it's not everything that scan tool will avail. There are some things that are mechanical or something, but it's a start. From there, you grow from it. I can get other tools on doing diagnosis. It's not only scan tool that is tool for diagnosing cars. There are so many things used to run diagnosis on a vehicle, modern car, EFI, name it. Okay, so now you know about Peugeot 407 when it comes to the e-hailing business or Uber, whatever. So I hope it helps, and that's all.